Hi, I'm Hannah Bernard. You're watching Market 1 Minute, and today we are joined by Robert Mintek of Standard Lithium. Robert, we've seen some recent reporting about a glut of supply in the lithium space. What's your take on this?
Yeah, the space has been red hot for the last couple of years.
Yep.
There's 200 plus companies in the space. A lot of capital has been raised. Expectations are quite high. And the demand for lithium is growing. It's supposed to grow by as much, or projected to grow by as much as 400% over the next 5 to 7 years. It's a lot. New projects have to come online.
Of course. Yeah.
But there's been a few reports out that are making assumptions that these projects will come online. There will be a glut of supply because there's so many companies looking to get into space and go into production.
Of course.
But the assumptions that there'll be a glut in supply assumes that these projects will get financed, they'll get permitted, they'll get built.
Yeah.
The industry has a history of not meeting its expectations. Projects have to come online for the success of the EV industry, the lithium battery projects, and supply has to come online. But I don't feel that there's any chance there'll be an imminent an oversupply scenario.
All right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, very interesting. And Standard Lithium is using a different development strategy than other companies in this sector. You call it the Moneyball approach. What does that mean?
We've sort of hijacked that. It's from the Michael Lewis book.
Yeah.
It was a few years back, but it's a data-driven approach. So our approach isn't to chase after high grade on some remote salar in South America or on an outcropping in Quebec or in Australia. Our approach is to chase after projects where we can eliminate the execution risk. And how do you do that? You identify the critical fail points that companies face. So what are those? There's discovery, that's one. There are permitting challenges all across the way, environmental challenges, getting permits to drill, all of the application for permits and the review process there. There's jurisdictional process challenges.
Yeah.
History is littered with companies that had great discoveries, but they fail because they aren't able to build the project.
Yeah.
So our focus is on finding projects where we eliminate discovery because we know there's already grade there. We eliminate execution risk because they're already in production. There's a handful of places in the world you can do that, and we fortunately identified them, no one else looked at them, and we signed agreements on them.
So let's talk about your flagship property. It is located in a jurisdiction and a region that might not be very familiar to a lot of investors. So how did Standard Lithium end up in Arkansas?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we're focused on data. So we're looking at opportunities where we find projects in jurisdictions that have been overlooked because they didn't fit the conventional mining model. So when we started the company, we said, where can we go where we know that we can apply what we've learned and do agreements with an existing producer that doesn't recognize that they have a lithium resource. There's a couple of locations. We signed an agreement earlier last year in California, but the big opportunity for us was in Arkansas. People are familiar with Australia and Argentina, both jurisdictions that begin with A. Arkansas begins with an A, and it's got a lot of lithium. It's been recognized in technical reports going back 30, 40 years as a massive lithium resource in an area that is the largest brine producing area in North America. They just don't extract lithium from the brine, they extract bromine.
Okay.
But what they do is they extract upwards of 200 to 300 million barrels of brine every year, strip bromine out of it, and then they put the brine back into the ground. That brine is rich in lithium.
Okay.
One company, Albemarle, who's the world's largest lithium producer, started in southern Arkansas in the bromine business. In 2011, they put out a news release saying they successfully extracted lithium at a pilot plant in southern Arkansas, and it's been in their slide deck for a number of years saying that it's a world-class resource and an opportunity exclusive to Albemarle until this year. We signed an agreement with one company, Tetra Technologies, to acquire a large land package in southern Arkansas, 30,000 acres, and just this last May, we signed a deal with LANXESS, a German specialty chemical company that has the largest land package in southern Arkansas and the largest bromine processing facility. They produce as much as 400,000 barrels of brine every day, take the bromine out and put it back into the ground. So we announced a deal with LANXESS where we have access to their tail brine and we have an opportunity to build our pilot plant inside the permitted fence of one of their production facilities. It puts us years ahead of any other company.
It sounds like Arkansas is a good place to be in
Yeah,
the lithium
Arkansas,
space.
the volume of brine, as I mentioned, 200 to 300 million barrels of brine every year.
Wow.
Rich in lithium, that's 10 billion gallons a year of brine that gets pumped and re-injected back into the ground. Thousands of employees in the brine handling industry. They've got all of the other materials and infrastructure required because it's already in production. They've got power, access to water, cheap chemical reagents. It's close to the Gulf Coast. It's in the US. So it's a great jurisdiction. It's a globally significant opportunity.
So let's talk about the future. What does 2018 and beyond look like for Standard Lithium?
Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting news coming out because we just announced this deal with LANXESS. We will have access to years of their production data. So we'll be putting together a technical report on their 150,000 acre land package. We'll be putting out a technical report on our 30,000 acre land package in southern Arkansas. That package came with 200 miles of 2D seismic because the area has been so much exploration and development work. It came with 200 miles of 2D seismic. Hundreds of wells have been drilled on it already. So we're putting together a very data-driven, strong technical report on ours. And we're moving forward on our pilot plant. So it took 10 months to do this deal with LANXESS, but all along that period, because they're already in production, we've had access to brine, to the lithium-rich brine from them for the last 10 months. So we've been doing bench scale, mini pilot plant work at our own facilities in Canada towards putting together engineering drawings for our pilot plant. We'll be building the pilot plant over the next quarter, moving it to southern Arkansas Q4, and it'll be up and running Q1 2019. So a lot of significant milestones coming.
Yeah, some news flow coming from Standard Lithium in the near future. Thanks for being with us, Robert.
Thank you.